season 2023 is going to remind you to feel your feelings, tap into your emotions, and make sure that you make the most out of what your intuition is trying to. I'm excited to be getting into this live stream today. It's been a minute since I've done one of these proper. A lot of situations on the back end as far as just things not recording the right way. But I say to that, let's continue. Let's keep it moving because I really do value and love the fact that I'm able to hop on here, interact directly with you all. I have the live chat over here, just in case anyone has any questions during this time frame. But the main portion to this and the main thing that I want to get across is that we are really entering into a stage and a state of evolution, of intuition, of nourishing self, tapping into your sense of security, knowing what you're going to be wanting to do moving forward. How are you going to implement and push your psychic nature into the next space, into the next spot? So one of the main things to really get across and one of the things to point out is that this Cancer season is going to start early on with Mercury, right? Which is going to make for it to be an easy kind of transition for you to speak your truth, to speak on the things that you care about, what you want to get into. And the concept of this and the reason why this is such a beautiful thing is because within that, you're going to start to see who you really resonate with on a soul level. There's people that are supposed to be acquaintances. There are people that are in the same bracket of maybe mental or intellectual energy as you, right? But then there's certain people that you can just be around and not say a word. That's what Cancer season is trying to start to bring around you. Who can you sit with in silence and bring and bridge emotional comfort and nourishment? Are you getting into the soul aspect of things with the people around you, or is everything staying up on like, you're not getting too deep into it? And that's okay. Sometimes not everyone's built to be in that regard, but Cancer season is trying to invite you to be around your soulmates, to find those people that really get you at that core heart soul kind of level that makes you want to do something new, that makes you want to do something great or grand and really bridge that in, right? So one of the most important parts to this season, and let's describe Cancer as an energy to begin with, right? So Cancer energy in the Zodiac is a water sign, right? Every time I think of Cancer energy, I immediately think of the ocean. You don't know what's for real in the ocean. I think people have no real, not people, everybody, but a lot of people have no concept of all of the ocean and the aquatic and the underdoings that happen like in the sea, in the water, right? The ocean is full of mystery and wonder, right? Looking out into the ocean, into the abyss, you can just see how big and how grand the world is. And as we enter into Cancer season with the Summer Solstice, right, we're going to actually be bridging all of those type of energies in to ourselves, to our beings, right? So Cancer season is, because it's a water sign as well, gets you tapped into your psychic nature, your intuition, your feelings. How are you actually feeling, right? Because what people forget about is that it's really how you resonate that really makes things matter or change, right? For example, so for example, right, or to get more so to the ocean part that I was trying to say before, my bad, but the ocean part, the reason why we don't know is like there are people that have messed with like ocean waters and they've messed with marine animals and they've messed with things for so long that now sometimes they be striking back. If you look up some of the most recent work that the that the orcas have been on, because people started messing with their habitat and they struck back a few times, right? The ocean is so intriguing because you just don't know what lies beneath it. And for water sign people, sometimes they don't know how to explain what lies beneath. They just feel what's going on, right? A water sign individual can hear the undercurrents of what you're saying or why you're saying what you're saying and feel what you mean before you even finish, right? And because they can feel what you mean, sometimes it's off-putting, right? It's like, oh, I don't want you to feel that part. Like, oh, why do you know that? How are you able to even, navigate that or associate that, right? That's the power of that Cancer energy in that process, right? So, entering into summer solstice, we're at the last days of Gemini, right? I'm gonna hop on over here. As we can see, summer solstice, we're clicking on it right here as we can spin around. This right here is the day where that happens. And when that happens, ironically, the moon is going to be in Leo, right? Sun, so it's going to be an opposite type of feeling. So on the summer solstice, which I think is kind of funny, the sun is going to be in Cancer and the moon's going to be in Leo. Normally that's the other way around as far as where that really goes. But the longest day of the year, this is what bridges in summer. This is what bridges in that hope, that feeling, right? But one of the most important parts to this is it's more remembering how you feel. Won't be able to say it enough to get this across, because as a society, we are so afraid of our feelings because the generations before us never knew how to address them properly. And to be honest, the generation before them too, they didn't know how to do that either. So not to say that these people or situations that have occurred, that doesn't mean that, hey, it's just a different time. Like, no, if you've done something, if you're on that, like, definitely say sorry. But in accordance to that, right, this is something to where there's an ancestral aspect that comes in with Cancer season. And this is honestly, a lot of people are going to start to clear away ancestral karma due to the waters of Cancer season, due to the psychic nature that ends up coming in and helping people see intuitively what's the next step. There are 15 generations of your ancestors that live within you. Technically, you, or if you're a woman, technically you hold all the eggs that you are ever going to hold when you're born, and they come in some way directly from your grandmother. So there's even more of this like maternal, nurturing, caring nature that starts to come in, because Cancer season is the reason for all of that, right? The matriarch, the power of the matriarch that originated in Cancer. When it comes to even the conquerors that they talk about in Greek and Rome and everything else like that, those people, a lot of those conquerors like Alexander the Great, etc., they were Cancer sons, right? Why? Because they were trying to expand the homeland. They wanted to bridge more land so they can nurture their people in. That was the whole purpose. That was the whole point. And they were able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of them were able to actually pull it off. Julius Caesar, it too brutal. Like, Julius Caesar literally was a Cancer, came through Roman Empire, had some of the his offs in Egypt as well. But there's a lot of like background to where it's like Cancer energy is so misunderstood, because now we look at it and we talk about memes and it's just everybody crying. It's just like every Cancer meme you ever see is just like, oh, my life, I just want to stay in bed and snuggle. I don't want to do this, man. All the time. That's all you ever see for Cancer memes. And half of that is true. I'm not going to put it past nobody, right? But when Cancer does really get into their identity and they realize that their emotional standing affects the rest of the room around them, that's when Cancer really starts to step into their power. That's when that energy or placement starts to get into that. 1 second. Okay, cool. Anywho, to break it down a little bit deeper, let's hop on over into the next stage that's going to happen. So on the 21st, just to kind of brief everybody, on the 21st, we're going to be heading into Cancer season. And then afterward, we're going to be heading into Mercury in Cancer, right? And I would be remiss, and I'm not going to show it right now because I'm in the middle of this. There's 2 things to let you know. First of all, if you want a reading at the end of this live stream, this one's not going to be super long, but if you want a reading at the end of this live stream, make sure that you drop a tip below in the link that I sent. If you drop a tip below at the end of that, it could be any amount, whatever. Drop a tip. I will pull a card for you and tell you some information about your Cancer season. Obviously, the things that go up a little bit more, I pull a couple more cards for it, but you know how that go. But for real, the support, the love is truly appreciated, and it keeps me doing this and keep it going. And the second thing is that if you don't want to do that, just feel free to get a whole reading with me. As a matter of fact, I have a tarot special that's out right now just for the summer solstice. So if you want to get your summer going with some tarot, a couple with the astrology a little bit, blending those things together, make sure that you end up hitting the link in the description in order for you to tap into my website. Super excited to be offering that for a little bit and to get things back and going. I had a concussion for a little. So I'm really excited to be fully getting back into the swing of readings again as I have now recovered. So do that. Anyway, let me take a quick sip. Also, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask as I go about this live stream. I'm just kind of going straight in, but if you have any questions, feel free. Okay, so getting into the next part, right? This right here, this is going to be Mercury in Cancer. So Mercury goes into Cancer when the sun hits about 5 degrees. And when Mercury goes into Cancer, this is going to be a time frame for you to really forget about all the, there's a time to think and there's a time to not think, right? One of my favorite quotes that I'm starting to really integrate into my life is actually coming from Bruce Lee. And Bruce Lee, there's this clip and he's talking to his disciple. He's talking to his person who he's working with, who he's trying to train. And his disciple's like, oh, how do I do this? How do I make this work? And Bruce Lee just smacks him on his head. And he's like, don't think, feel. And that right there is like a very strong portion to Mercury in Cancer. Mercury isn't in Cancer for a super long time, but the height and the need and the necessity to feel through what's going on, to feel exactly what you say and what you mean is going to be taking a height, right? Now, one thing about Mercury in Cancer to point out, in my personal opinion, Mercury in Cancer is one of the most excellent times to truly embrace your spirituality. Water is one of the most inherent elements that is spiritual because everything began in water. Every creation story you can think of began with two things: water, stars. Straight up. Look it up. If you can find a different one, please let me know. Because most cultures have that type of association. They're like the stars. And then the water's formed, right? The primordial water, that whole concept. That is kind of coming off from Cancer, right? That's that whole energy happening. But Mercury in Cancer, this is you taking the responsibility to speak on what your soul wants to speak on and not necessarily have to uphold what might be the correct way. It's about speaking that truth and allowing your heart to be shared and embracing and hearing out other people's feelings on things as well. That is how you end up kind of creating that type of unit, that type of vibe that you're looking for, just to let you all know, right? So let me just double check the live chat, make sure no one said nothing. If not, that's cool. But yeah, we're just gonna be cruising through these real quick just to show you all what the vibe is coming up for this upcoming month. So really hyped for that. Now, what's the next thing on the list that we need to talk about? Saturn went retrograde, which I'll briefly mention. Because Saturn went retrograde, where like a lot of people, including myself to be honest, it's this feeling of like despair of like, yo, I gotta go back to the beginning and do all of this. Like Saturn in retrograde is like, congratulations on all the work you did, but you did it wrong the whole time. Like, not like you did it wrong, but it's like, hey, this didn't yield the results you wanted in these areas, right? Well, here's how you change that. So they do yield the results in this area. This is how you change that. So these things do end up working out in your favor, right? That's pretty much the whole idea when it comes to that in that regard. Okay. Anyway, my bad. But getting back into the concept of this overall Cancer season, we're starting off pretty strong because once Mercury meets up with Cancer season is when I think honestly we'll start to feel the shift even stronger. Like we'll actually feel the shift of getting out of our head, because Gemini is super in your head energy, and then directly into more so in the body, more so in the feeling, more so in the emotional pool, and letting that happen. So that's pretty much the case when it comes to that. So next part that I want to talk about, which I'm going to pop up real quick. And like I said before, if you want a live reading, make sure you pop in. If not, make sure that you get an actual reading, because I love doing readings. There's just so many new things that I've learned to like help people out with this too. So whether you know astrology, don't know astrology, I am your guide to read your chart, because I will make sure that you leave that knowing exactly what you need to start to tap into. Trust me. Now, this is going to be the chart right here for the full moon in Capricorn. I'm going to be breaking down the full moon in Capricorn later on in full. I might be doing a live stream for that. I might be doing a class for that. I'm still in the works just to figure that out, because if I could do a live, y'all want to tip and donate and do some readings here, perfect, because I want to make sure that it's accessible and people can see this too, because there's a lot of great information here giving to the people here. But to move on from this, right? What's interesting about this full moon in Capricorn is that the North Node is going to be at 0 degrees Taurus, and the North Node is about to change, right? The North Node is about to change, but the concept here and what really sticks out to me is that this is like the last full moon and breaking point that the North Node in Taurus has an effect on with this full moon in Capricorn. Now, the North Node in Taurus was about what? Stability. Honestly, it was about making you realize what stability means to you. That's what the North Node in Taurus has been about. What does stability mean to you? What does wealth mean to you? What does luxury look like to you? And also, if you aren't in those places, what can you do and what can you change in order for you to start to bring that in? The answer the North Node tells us is be yourself as it goes into Aries. And it's like the more dynamic that you are being yourself, the easier that's going to end up bridging in that energy. On the flip end, with the moon in Capricorn, opposite the sun and Mercury, this is the excellent time for you to, I would genuinely say, speak out on any of the things that you see getting in your way of your success. This is honestly, it reminds me of a cutting cord ceremony, honestly. So for the full moon in Capricorn, I would recommend trying to cut off the energetic cords. How do you do this? You can do this with some crystals. You could do this with some words and affirmations. You can end up doing this as simple as just taking a shower and intending this, right? Everyone's magic is different and personal to them. I'd recommend throwing in something water related because it's Cancer season, but this is about you shedding off the fears behind your success. Because what sets people back most of the time is ourselves. It's not something external. It's our own self-limiting beliefs of what can happen. And the full moon in Capricorn wants us to address those, face those head on, and feel through what that means for us. Notice how I keep saying feel. I'm not a feelsy type person like that, but everything is feel, because that's what Cancer season brings to the table. Just going to double check the live chat real quick to make sure that we all good. Oh, we got somebody. Hold up. Oh, the North Node is on your Venus and Taurus at 0 degree. That's fire. That's fire. You're going to have a really dope full moon in Capricorn. It might be a little tough, but the full moon in Capricorn is going to definitely show you exactly where to move to get to the money. Trust, watch. Specifically for you too, so I'm hyped for that. Okay. Now that we've done that part, right? Let me check in on the next shift that's going to be happening coming up. Hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm kind of just like rolling through, giving y'all the information and everything. I have a lot of things that I'm working on in the back end. I actually wrote a whole ebook about the astrology 101, but I'm working on some classes and courses and everything else like that. If you want to be notified when I do something new and dope, make sure you sign up for the email list, and then you get the full moon sign in astrology video, which is an hour information breaking down your moon sign for you, and it's absolutely free. Anyway, on to the next part, right? So once Mercury leaves Cancer, which I was saying is so important for the feel. Once Mercury leaves Cancer, it goes into Leo. And Mercury goes into Leo a little bit before, but Mercury is about to go into Leo. Let me stop right there. Mercury's about to go into Leo. It's going to be opposite Pluto, right? So Mercury in Leo is going to really be the time frame that's going to be definitive for you to be ready for the rest of Leo season, of honestly this summer, because like this summer is going to be really, hey, someone sent a live reading, let's get it. Much love. But I'm gonna check it in a bit. But when someone's like really like bridging in and having to feel through what's going on, they're going to really start to see the things pop up in their life and in their sphere that it's like, oh, this isn't working. That, oh, this isn't going to work. Or like maybe this person before was like really willing to help me out, but like, oh, now they passed a certain point. Oh, they don't want to deal with me. And it's nothing to take personal. This is just like Mercury and Leo is trying to remind you that you need to rely on your heart or you rely on everybody else around that. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I'm really sensing from this Mercury and Leo that's about to be coming up over in this. It's July 11th. So on July 11th, that's going to be happening, just to let you all know. And I'll show you the dates real quick, just so you can know. But this is going to be July 11th is when Mercury is going to be in Leo. And then it goes into Virgo once Leo season starts, but I'll break that down for the Leo season video. Let me see what else I'm missing. Oh, there's one more thing. Two more things, right? So around the same time Mercury goes into Leo, we're going to have Mars going to Virgo, right? Mars and Virgo is going to be really beneficial for people who want to get their ish together. I'm not going to swear just in case YouTube wants to throw me into a partnership. But Mars and Virgo is going to be happening pretty much like right in this general area. So this is like a second before it goes into Virgo. But when Mars goes into Virgo, it's going to be making an opposition over to Saturn. That's something to point out. And when it makes the opposition over to that Saturn place, you're going to have to figure out what is divinely aligned to you and what you're trying to do, and what's your anxiety and what's your panic. Is this something that's aligned, or are you just frantically trying to do something? Mars and Virgo is one of the best helpers, one of the best signs. I am not saying this from personal experience. I'm saying this because I claim it. I am a Mars and Virgo, for those of you who do not know. But there's a need for being like really meticulous, right? If I didn't have a Mars and Virgo, I'd probably put a lot more things out, but it might not be as like good or pristine, or you know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of work back end that happens when it comes to even like these things. I keep things as simple as humanly possible. But all that research done, everything else like that, that's Mars and Virgo. Some people love that energy. They love like, oh, I get to dive in. Some people are like, I have to research this thing. I hate this, right? So Mars and Virgo definitely does bring this like need to get things done that comes up. And because Saturn's going to be opposing it, you're going to be like, well, I need to get my dreams done today. I need to have everything happen of my dreams today. And Saturn and Pisces are going to be like, whoa, slow your roll. I'm retrograde. I'm right up here. I'm actually right here. You got something to say? And it's going to try to guide you into slowing things down, into trusting yourself more and bridging the rest of that in that process. So definitely something to keep in mind for this Mars and Virgo, which is going to be happening on July. All right. So, okay, the last major thing to talk about for this before I start to get into the cards, this is going to be the new moon in Cancer, right? Now, everything that happens in Cancer season is trying to show you what you want to emotionally involve yourself in moving forward into the future. So the concept of having this new moon towards the end of Cancer season and the new moons that have been happening towards the ends of seasons recently is like, hey, you just felt through this first haul. You just felt through this first intuitive point, right? Now that you felt through the intuitive point, what do you want to make of it? What do you want to have happen with it? And the sun and moon at this time, and I'm just going to be pulling from one of these before I break into it deeper in a later part. But the new moon in Cancer is going to be making a connection over to the planet of dreams, which is Neptune. And so this is one of those things where it's like you need to believe it intrinsically. You need to feel that the things you want are happening, because if you doubt that feeling that you have, Neptune will show you something entirely different. And it's going to be bridging exactly on how tuned in you are with those feelings. And when I say feelings, I mean joy, I mean anger, I mean sorrow, I mean all of them, right? Because people always forget happy is an emotion too. I say feelings and people are like sad, nervous, like it's like no, like feelings is also like, oh my gosh, everything's great, wow, this is a beautiful world. Like there's a whole plethora of emotions that come in, but Cancer is the one that starts all of those things off to see like what's going to be going on and how people are going to be adapting to this. So on this new moon in Cancer, you're going to have to figure out what exactly you want to start feeling and hold that feeling of what you want for the future. So if you want to bridge in that perfect home, that this, that, and the third, you have to feel like you're already in it, right? If you want to bridge in that perfect partner, you got to feel like you're already dating them, even if you don't know where they are. Shoot, if you do it, sometimes they pull up, or you know. The concept is like that's how that ends up working, right? Because Virgos are the best. Y'all lie. Much love. So South Node is in Aries. How would a North Node moving into Aries affect me? So I'm just gonna break this down briefly, just to kind of give you like a vibe, and then I'm gonna hop into the signs, just because like let's answer the question. But because your South Node is in Aries and the North Node's there, imagine it as though like the lesson. Let me just double check. Yeah, South Node's in Aries. So the lessons that you learn about relationships and partnerships, you're gonna have to kind of teach other people, right? And vice versa, you're gonna have to know what it's like to be independent but have things rely on you. Kind of do your own thing, but also be willing to step out of yourself in order to tap in. I'll be breaking that down closer when the North Node does change, and I have a couple things out already, but I want to definitely break that down. So make sure you watch out for the content, because I want to get deeper into that about how the North Node changing is going to impact people. Thank you for the reminder. I'm 100% make sure that I get that down, because definitely destiny is shifting, and I want to make sure that I'm in the space and I have everything that I need to make sure we can break that down in the right way. Just double checking real quick to see who has sent something to me so far. Where did that go? I definitely saw someone send me something on Snip feed. One sec. Anyway, so what's the date when it changes? The North Node shifts. I believe it's the 21st. I'm gonna double check real quick. I believe the 21st. Oh, there we go. I got it. It's going to be shifting on. I take that back. I'm sorry. July 12th. Thank you so much for reminding me. July 12th is when the North Node is going to shift. Then the new moon in Cancer is going to be on July 17th. So that's just that for y'all to know in that process. Now, I have talked a lot about a lot of things, and my body is being like, hey man, it's time for you to pull some cards. So I'm just opening this up right here. I got one of the tips so far that are in here. So whoever else pops up in the next little bit, after I run real quick through all the signs, we're going to be getting into your stuff next. Let me just double check the chat real quick. Yep. Thank you, Carrie. Appreciate it. Let's go. I love y'all. This is fun. So this is the part where I hop on over this cool looking thing and we get into the cards. So let's break this down. Let's start off first. I'm gonna go a little basic today. We're gonna start off with Aries. Actually, we're gonna start off with the collective. Let's start off with the collective and how that's gonna be working for Cancer season. So for Cancer season, the card for the collective is going to be I didn't even look at it, to be honest. The 8 of Pentacles, right? Cancer season is a season, as we can see through the hidden secret coins. Basically, Cancer season is going to be a season of you having to develop your skills, you having to sit there and really craft out what your trade is, really craft out what it is that you want to bridge into the world, right? And I think the reason why this is happening is because you're going to start to feel into the internal nature of the purity that you possess, and that's going to cause you to start to move forward and having to work on something over time. Patience is a virtue, and we all gonna have to learn it throughout this Cancer season, to be honest. Okay, now we're gonna rapid fire through these real quick. Make sure we get everybody. So the card I have for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising for all of them, by the way. Sun, Moon, and Rising, Aries, right? We have the Hanged Man for Aries for this Cancer season. This is going to cause you, Aries, to have to trust in the universe in a way that feels very inorganic to you. Aries, you're normally the type to be like, yo, I made this decision. I'm going to make this happen. The Hangman is being like, hey, I'm going to make this decision. What was I deciding again? Right? And what this is that it's trying to attribute and trying to guide you into trusting and re-believing in your own intuition again. Because when you let go of the I need this to happen, your intuition is going to be able to flow through, show you what to feel, show you how to go about it and make it happen. That's what's going to be happening for Aries. For Taurus, we have the Knight of Pentacles, Taurus. Good for you. So for Taurus with the Knight of Pentacles, this is going to be you getting in your element again and then slow rolling towards your success in your future and your destiny, right? Knight of Pentacles is not in a rush. The Knight of Pentacles is like, we're going to get to the battle when we get to the battle. And honestly, the Knight of Pentacles might show up to the battle last, but he's the one dude to be like, hey, all of their stuff's over there. We should go and do that. And the Knight of Pentacles will low-key save the day. You know what I mean? Everyone will be like, you know, the Knight of Swords already rushed in. I'm going to fight. Knight of Pentacles would be like, so everyone was fighting, so we went and we just took all their supplies, so they can't fight us anymore. Like, you know what I mean? That right there. So Taurus, make sure that you take your time and tap into your resources. Use your resources. See the things that are around you, right? That's really going to help for this Cancer season. Gemini, what we got for you? Gemini, this Cancer season, you're going to be caught in between two ideas. And I think the duality and the nature of this Gemini season has allowed you to do that. I feel like Gemini season has allowed all the Geminis to be like, yo, what if I did just do a little bit here and do a little bit there, do a little bit there? And Cancer season is going to be like, well, what if you have to do both? Or what if you have to do none? Or what if you do both at the same time? And now you're like, okay, here's the in-between of that, right? And that's what's going to be happening for that. Your backdrops, wow. The backdrops are clean. Thank you. I appreciate it. Worked a very long time to figure out how to do that. So you're doing it. Much love. Happy Juneteenth, by the way. We kings. We out here. But as we get into Cancer, right? Get into Cancer. So Cancer, the card for you, the Queen of Swords. So Cancer, I think that there's going to be a lot of wisdom and knowledge that starts to integrate with you this season that normally you only feel, and now you're going to actually have the words for it. And since you actually have the words for it and the ways to actually express it properly, people are going to be really rearing up to just hear what you have to say. That's what's going to be really cool about this for you. Make sure that you definitely say all the things you need to, because people during Mercury and Cancer especially are going to hear your wisdom for sure. Taurus, Sun, and Gemini rising. So you're feeling this. Good luck. Hey, what's good, Dominic? How you living, bro? I'm hype. Beautiful times. Let's go. I'm glad that you're here, and I appreciate that. I'm glad that helps too. This is one of the homies from way back in the day when I was doing this for another company. It wasn't as fun, but I got to meet some amazing people in the process, and that's really what makes it worth it. So whenever you're ready to do that video, you let me know. I've been saving that song. Much love, much love. So let's get to Leo, right? For Leo. Ooh, we have the 8 of Cups. Leo, you're going to be leaving behind a mindset. I think honestly, this is like leaving a old part of your emotional world behind. I think this is you like healing from an emotional past you thought you would never get over. And that's actually what it is. I think it's like you're healing from an emotional past you never thought that you were going to get over. And now because it's going to be this Cancer season, you're like, yo, I don't have to feel this way no. Right? Like you're like, I don't have to feel like I'm in this like negative space anymore. I'm not in that same old house, or I'm not in that same old like situation. I'm a different person. I think this Cancer season is going to show you that before we enter into your season, Leo. You really get for my Virgos, my Virgos out there. Love ya. Virgo, let's see what we got. Bang. we have the world card. If you have ever seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, you know what I'm talking about. Regardless, this is the world card, right? And the world card is basically trying to let you know that when the world was first made, it wouldn't have really happened if there wasn't some Virgo angel being like, this is wrong. Like, you know, like I feel like if there wasn't a few Virgos in the making of this, like life in the universe, like just life as we know it would be just a little bit more messy. Like the headline, like if it wasn't for Virgo, all the headlines you see on like Twitter or like something mad random, those would be like real time all the time, to be honest. So shout out to Virgos for making that happen. Did I pull a card? I think I did. Oh, the world card. I pulled the world card for Virgo. Yeah, Virgo, you're going to be in a situation where you have to craft your world. Honestly, Virgo, this Cancer season, I suggest you sit there and just craft out exactly what you think your ideal world would be. And you'd be surprised by how those themes and elements will start to come to you. Not in the same exact capacity, but they'll at least start to pull up in your something to keep in mind in that process. Okay, halfway through the Zodiac. If any of y'all want to get a reading at the end of this, where I'll pull a card for you or a couple cards for you, the tip pool is still going to be in the link in the description. If you want to get something personal and private, I am having a quick tarot sale where I'm going to be pulling personal cards for you in that process as well. So make sure that you check that out. The price will be going up into a full service afterward, but I do want to get my tarot game back up to where it's at with my astrologies. Really get this going. You feel me? But much love, much love. Okay, so now let's get to the Libras. All right, for Libra, what we got for you? Libra, we have the High Priestess. So Libra, I think you're gonna be in your magic era. I won't say like magic girl era. I think that goes including for men as well. Like you're gonna be in your magic girl era, where it's kind of like, did I just say that I wanted to have pancakes, and did someone just pop up at my job, give me a whole platter of pancakes without me even asking? Am I that cute today? That's the Libra vibe that y'all gonna be feeling. The High Priestess is like, whatever I feel, I command because I know and I allow it to. Woo! High Priestess energy is, and so I think with the vibe of that too, right? High Priestess is going to sit there and absorb what's going on and be able to put her own spin or their own spin onto the energy that happens. So shout out to Libra. Y'all gonna have an interesting Cancer season. You're still gonna have to feel. You're gonna balance out those feelings, but it's gonna be fun. Scorpio, let's go. Scorpio, we got you with the Queen of Pentacles. Scorpio, you're gonna get to the back. Matter of fact, Scorpio, the more open, extra, like it's your time to entertain, Scorpio. You got to tell them about, like, I know, for example, I'm out West Coast, LA. It's been gray. It's been cold. It's not been ideal as far as the weather is concerned. And it's had a lot of people shook. This is you being like, hey, you want to know all the stuff I went through during that time frame? And like starting to really like, people are going to be like, wow, I really feel for you. And be like, yeah, and I was struggling here. They're going to be like, they're going to start throwing money at you, Scorpio. They're going to literally just be like, you ever had a bad emotion? No worries. Let's get you set up. And you'll be like, I just wanted to be real upset about this. And they're like, no, here's everything you wanted. And you're like, suspicious, but whatever. That's what's going to be going on with you, Scorpio. So make sure you tap into the good parts of that. All right. Now, we have Sagittarius. For Sagittarius, we have the Lover's card. So love is going to guide you through Cancer season. And this is like, especially for the Sagittarius that I know, because as a Sag myself, in the early stages of things, it's like relations, people, love. Now, Sagittarius are lovers, right? Sagittarius are like the reason why Sagittarius are so selective, which is what people don't realize, right? Because people are like, oh, Sagittarius are just doing this. Like, Sagittarius are just selective because they want to see everything that you got. So if they see the things that you got and it's not what it's cracking up to be, said it was, they're going to try to find what their truth is. So if you can match up to what that is, a Sag will love you entirely, forever, straight up, right? But the idea behind the Lovers card is to like get, oh, it's the wrong one. The reason behind the Lovers card is to get a little bit out of your head and get deeper into your heart, get deeper into that feeling, because the people that love you want you to like love them. That's just what it is. So love them, and you'll see how fast the rest of everything else starts to work when you just kind of enter your lover boy, lover girl kind of era. The more you know. So let's get into Capricorn. Capricorn, no cap. Make sure that y'all sign up for the readings though. I'm telling you, I'm hot right now. Let's get it. So Capricorn, yep. We have the 9 of Pentacles. And so with the 9 of Pentacles, you are in a situation where it's like you're going to be getting the fruits of your labor. You're picking up the fruits of your labor. You're going to be kind of like, Capricorn, you're going to be stunting like a little bit. This is like subtle flex stunt though. This is like, yeah, you know, like I got this, but like it wasn't much. Like, you know, I wasn't really worried too much about it. Like I just kind of happened to come across it. Meanwhile, it was like the Dolce and Gabbana secret edition something, and everyone, and you're just like, oh, you know, it's a little something. You're like, oh, you showing up like that? That's the stunt you about to pull, Capricorn. And because it's also Cancer season happens in your 7th, this is also a huge time frame for relationships and dating. So Capricorn, stop being a workaholic and go flirt with that cute person that you like. Weirdo. I'm playing. Love y'all. Regardless, right? Sag rising is definitely a lover boy era. Facts. Lover boy era, Sag. Lover boy summer. Sag. Lover boy summer. Yep, we have gotten. It's funny, man. Funny. All right, so getting into Aquarius. But Aquarius is bang. We have the 7 of Wands. This is you, Aquarius, having to stick up for your ideals. So you're sticking up for your ideals. You're not even sticking up for anybody else. This is you being like, nah, I already made up my mind, and this is how I'm going to have to fight for it. This is how I'm going to have to make that go through. And I really am vouching for you, and I'm really supporting y'all Aquarius, because I feel like Aquarians have been through like a real secret like type struggle. Honestly, since like Saturn Aquarius left, which is funny enough. But I think it has a lot to do with the Taurus energy. And like Jupiter and stuff like that. Or no, sorry, Uranus being in Taurus is what's been messing up Aquarians, because you're like, am I supposed to just leap off this, or if I move my feet, does everything tumble? So I think Aquarius, this is you trying to, this is the accident too, but the World card was underneath that too, Aquarius. So I think you're really bridging in something new and something special, but you just have to keep sticking up for what you believe. Happy Juneteenth. Anyway. For Pisces, what we got for you, Pisces? Pisces, we have the Queen of Wands. This is the permission for you to be a little bit of a jerk. And I don't mean this as you being an actual jerk. I think Pisces a lot of the time are like, I just don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Like, I really love everybody because I feel how everyone feels all of the time, and I just want to give everyone a hug. And the Queen of Wands is like, you give the people you love a hug, and you tell the rest of them to get their life together, right? There's a certain type of attitude that comes in with the Queen of Wands, which is also, love it. But the concept, right, personally, but the concept is basically like, yo, get out the way unless we are making a way with me. And Pisces, I think you're going to have to do this for some people, because I think some people have gotten it. So it's like, oh, they're so sweet. They're so caring. They'll just do this for me. And Pisces, you got to be like, no. Matter of fact, Pisces, this is you leaning on the Rihanna side of Pisces, then the Pisces side where it's like, I just want to cuddle the kittens. Get with the Riri. This is bad girl, hot girl era for you. Do your thing. Like, don't shy back now that's the, just to let y'all know. Okay, that has been the Zodiac signs. Please leave a like if you've been liking this Cancer season video so far. I've been working a lot to get into a proper format that I think will just work with everyone. I try to do, some classes, but I really want to make sure that everyone's included. There's all of those little intricacies. I do appreciate you all for being here in this process. I only have one of the tip readings that are here so far, which is all good. But if you do want to get a personal consultation, please make sure that you pull up for one. If you want to get something else, make sure that you're like, you just message me. Say, hey, I saw you on YouTube. I want a reading. Do it on Instagram, something like that. We'll have a conversation. I'll see what I could do because I want to make sure that I can directly support the people that I know are here. So you can leave a like, leave everything else like that. Reach out to me. We can figure something out. I'm going to be free and open for the month of the very end of June and July for readings, and I'm expecting to be doing readings all summer. So this is a perfect time for you to pull up. I have a couple of other offers that I'm working on in the background, and they're going to be out within the next 2 weeks anyway. So just make sure that you stay on the lookout, and I would love to honor that. And check out all the ebooks that I have. I've been writing like hella ebooks. Make sure that you tap into that. But yeah, so as of right now, we only have a reading for Sharon, unless someone sent it in another way, but I don't think so. But for Sharon, right, who is a Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Mercury, and Sag rising. This Cancer season for you. I'm gonna pull 3 for you. So much love. What's up, Autumn Rains? How you living? Hey, let's go. Thank you, Care. All right. Oh, make sure you check out Autumn Rain's music. Yo, I started working with her. We did a reading and stuff like that. She's like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing some music. I'm like, bet. Then I heard it and I'm like, yo, why you being subtle? Your stuff gas. You bugging out. Much love. Shout out to the vibe. How do you tip? In the description of this video, there's going to be a tip section where it's literally just like right underneath the main thing, but it just is like an easy way for you to tip through, and you can tip whatever amount, and I will be doing a live reading for that in a second. So I'm gonna be pulling for Sharon. If you want to go ahead and grab that, head back, just let me know. If not, I will awkwardly talk in the live stream. Much love. Okay, for Sharon, let's see what we got. You tip me a little pretty amount, so I'm gonna pull a few for you. See what we got. Okay. Go. 4 of Pentacles. All right. So now that we have the 4 of Pentacles on the bottom of this, right? And you have all that Capricorn energy. I'm gonna switch over to this again. And you have all that Capricorn energy happening for you. That Capricorn energy is trying to hold on to dear life for the vibe and the lessons that you were trying to hold on to before. And what this is trying to show you, need to get the other ebook. Yeah, check them out because like I'm enjoying making them. To be honest, I really do kind of enjoy making them, and I think that there's not a lot of like good referral type of information, and I want to be able to provide that information as well as like the videos and stuff like that. But I think sometimes it's easier for me to convey it that way than being like, hi guys, here's what an Aries is. But I'll be saving that for my courses in the future, and we gonna just stay tuned. We about to learn. We about to have a good time. Anyway, Sharon, people have been trifling. Dodge them. Dodge all of them. But it seems like you're holding on to things because you feel like somebody being slimy. Like somebody being slimy, it could be at work. I'm getting work from this. Like someone at work is trying to maybe undermine you. Or they're like, oh, this is the presentation. And at the end of the presentation, they didn't do a lot of work. And they're like, that was me. And you're like, no, it wasn't. And the King of Wands is trying to show you, yo, I need to step. Ooh, matter of fact, even better. Got you right now. Whoever's being slimy, got you right now, Sharon. Whoever's being slimy, whoever's been talking all that, you have the Queen of Cups, which I believe is you in this regard, and the King of Wands. So this is and this could be like a male counterpart or a masculine yang kind of person who's more of a push, where you're more of I get everything together. They're more of the push. And this is you kind of learning how to team up. I think over the course of this Cancer season, you're going to be teaming up with a stronger masculine figure, or this could even be you finding that balance between both your passion of push and your internal and receptive nature. But I genuinely do think it's another person. But the people that are being shady and trifling, the way that you're maneuvering and the way that you're holding on to things is actually perfect for that. Because when the time comes, right? When the time comes and that shady person who is moving around gets confronted, they're going to realize that you're on a different playing field than they were ever on. This is like the coworker is talking about you, being like, they never do their job, da, 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 da. Meanwhile, the whole time they're actually in the talks with the boss for them becoming a general manager. And they're like, well, you don't do that. You don't do this. You don't clean as fast as I do. You don't do, and this is you being like, I don't care. That's not my job. That's not my role. I'm not going to be great at something that I know is not going to be in my role, lane. So that's something to keep in mind in that process. But yeah, I hope that helps, Sharon. But that is the thing that I got through. And let me just double check one last time. If anyone has the wait on some like, wait, before this, I need to do this, I will wait for like a solid 2 seconds. But I do appreciate the love. I've been checking the live stream out, or the live chat out, this whole time. So just genuinely appreciate you all for being here, supporting the vibe. And yeah, this has been the Cancer season reading. Hope that you all got something out of it or got some new information from it. And I'm out. Much love to you all. Until next time, make sure that you check out the consultations and sign up for my email list, because I'm starting to send out emails to people about upcoming, events, upcoming live streams that I'm going to be doing in the future. And if you like this one, make sure that you like and comment on this afterward, and I will keep doing these for each zodiac month when the sun enters it. So all the best to this Cancer season. Make sure you feel everything through and love yourself. Else, yeah, that's kind of it. Peace.